Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bob Jenkins. I'm from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Well, I was just sitting around the house today and I was thinking about some thoughts that was coming to me out, and I thought a place called there. And I believe, to me, a place called there is a divine appointment. And I tell you, I just want to talk to you a little bit about that place called there. Many a times we have restaurants and everything that we like to do, but one thing about food, people can remember a few things: how it smells, what it tastes like, and where they got it from. And sometimes you may forget, and you need to be reminded sometimes. And there is a thing that people say, don't go there. There they go again with that. Don't go there. Well, I want to talk to you about a place called there. And this is a place I believe is with God, and what God sets up a specific places that we go sometime to meet with different individuals that we never would have thought that we would be meeting with these people, and the results that we get sometimes by talking to these people. Sometimes you have to be in, if you want to be blessed, sometimes you got to be in the place of blessings where blessings are. And some people are just seem to be in the right place at the right time. And I just want to talk to you about that place called there. And you probably won't think this is a great place to be when I get done talking about the first two, at least. There are five individuals I want to talk about. Daniel is the first one that I want to talk about, and I don't know how many people have heard of Daniel before. Well, Daniel was a faithful man, and he was faithful to God, and he prayed 3 times a day. And there were some individual subjects of the king, Darius, and they came up with this great idea. Some people always got a great idea, don't they? But even though they had a great idea, Daniel didn't go along with this great idea. They wanted King Darius to make a decree that everyone would have to stop praying and just pray to his God. And so Daniel didn't go along with this, as you can figure that out, as we go along here. So Daniel was brought to the king Darius, and he still wanted Daniel to do that, but Daniel refused to do that. So Daniel was still praying 3 times a day. So they had him put into the lion's den, and so that would seem to be wouldn't look like a place called there to me. That wouldn't look like a divine appointment to me to be in the lion's den. I don't really care too much for cats anyway, especially those big ones like that. So if they put Daniel in the lion den, he was there. I'm pretty sure he was in there all night long, and probably one of the lions became a pillow for Daniel because God was with Daniel. And so in the morning when King Darius come down, he checked on Daniel. He gonna holler up in there because he wasn't going in there himself. Isn't that something? We can put somebody through something, but we don't want to go through it either ourselves. But he put him in the lion's den and hollered up in there to see if Daniel was still around. He wanted to know if Daniel was still with us, And so Daniel was still living there. And so the king come up with his own idea. This time he said, he's going to have everybody pray to Daniel's God. And so, that turned in that. See, that turned into that. There was already that divine appointment. a place called there. And then the three Hebrew boys, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. I heard a brother say the bad Negro, but no, it's the Abednego. And then what happened there with this, they refused to bow to the golden image. And so the king Nebuchadnezzar did not like it. He did not like it at all. So he had the fire brought up a little higher for them. He's going to show them, you defy me. Well, I'm going to turn this fire up higher now for them. And so as he turned the fire up high and had the three young men threw into the fire, even if the soldiers that took them to the fire, they fell over dead because the fire was so hot there. But I got something to tell you about that fire. They wasn't the only one in there. And they told them before they went in, you know, our God is able to deliver us. And, you know, I'm going to tell you, there was another one in the fire with them. There was a fourth man in the fire with them. I believe it was Jesus walking around in that fire with them that day. They come out, you couldn't even smell, their clothes wasn't burned. There was no smoke, no smell of smoke on their clothes. That's how good our God is. He's the God of the impossible that makes things possible. Now, David and Goliath, that was another place called there, a divine appointment. Now, I'll tell you, old David was a little shepherd boy, but he was a shepherd boy first. He used to play the harp to kind of help settle the king down. And you know, he played the harp. He was instrumental there. And so I'm gonna tell you about David. He was only a little boy, probably about 15 or 16, small little lad there. And but he wasn't afraid of anything because he knew his God was with him. He had a fight with the lion and a bear and defeated them. And so when Dad had sent him off one day to go and take some food to his big brothers in the war, and there's a big giant up there hollering down insults to them and to the army of Israel and talking about the God of Israel in bad language. And David wanted to know who this uncircumcised giant was. He was a Philistine up there talking all this smoke up there. So David, he was there and he ready to do battle with him. And he did do battle with Goliath. But not only that, he realized where his strength come from. He knew the battle wasn't his, but the Lord. And Goliath was defeated before the fight even started because it was a fixed fight, man. God had already won that thing before the fight was over. David stood there with no sword, and he had to take the sword from Goliath and cut Goliath's head off. And then victory was sure his. And then as another one called Moses, as he went across to pick, God told him to go get his people set free. And so, you know, if you know the story of Moses and all of these things taking place back then, how Moses was faithful to God and to do what God told him to do and to talk to the king and to tell him to let his people go. And eventually he did let them go. And when they let them go, they was going across the land there to the Red Sea, and then the king noticed he didn't have anybody to do anything for him, so he come to get them people back. And as the chariots went out to the Red Sea, they, as you know the story, if you don't know, I tell you, they all drowned in the Red Sea, and there was victory there. Once again, a place called there a divine appointment. And so that was Moses. They crossed the sea, but I want to talk to you about Jesus, the cross of Jesus Christ. Moses crossed the Red Sea, but Jesus hung on the cross, and he made a way for us. He made a way for us when there was no way. Jesus made a way for us. That was a divine appointment for him hanging on the cross. And there was victory, not just in the cross, but victory in the death and resurrection. There was victory there. And I just wanted to tell you tonight about that place called there. And Jesus hung on the cross for us all, and he died and he rose again on the third day. He became cursed for us all, that we wouldn't be cursed. That's what he did for you and I. If anyone would believe that Jesus died on the cross and he rose again on the third day, if you believe that in your heart and confess it with your mouth, the Bible says that you will be saved. So tonight or any other time, you can just fall to your knees and tell the Lord you believe. You must confess it with your mouth, believe it in your heart, and confess it in your mouth. The Bible says that you shall be saved.